Today we're going to service a Walt Disney production Mickey Mouse clock made by Bradley in the 70s. Alarm clock. First thing we do is remove the spring winders. Take them out. Put them aside. It goes that way. On this model, the pull knobs stay in place and they pull in through the back of the case. Now we'll remove the alarm. Take the pieces out. Put them away. Over there. And the cup bells will come out. We remove the face of the clock by very carefully inserting a screwdriver into the slot here and turning it to get a bit of a start on the case. Then we can very carefully prise it open a little bit on each side. It's still pretty tight. Be careful of the paint. We don't want to damage the paint. Gradually getting there, but it's still very tight. Very carefully so as not to damage the paint. It's almost there. Man, that sits in there tightly. A little bit over this side, we should be about right. Just about there. Screwdriver back in the slot once again. It's moving more freely now. There we go. Aha, finally got it. The bezel's off now. And take the plastic cover off. Place it to one side. Now, we can now remove the clock by dropping it forward. That one, and there we got it. Top one, that's the one. Okay, out it comes. Put the case aside. That's the movement. That's the face. Okay, let's remove the hands first. Using a hand puller, being careful not to touch the paper face of the clock. Remove the minute hand. we'll use a different hand puller to pull the hour hand off. Set it up underneath and then slowly turn the knob at the top, which will lift up the hour hand and remove it without touching the dial. There we go. Next we'll remove the animated part of the clock using a pair of long-nosed smooth jaw pliers. There we go. Out he comes. We'll put that aside. Now we're going to remove the movement from the face of the clock. It's held on by 4 little bent over levers here that we'll gently lever up so we can get a pair of pliers underneath them to straighten them to remove the face. 3. There's the 4th one. Okay, let's straighten those out. One. 2. To be the 3rd one. Straight out. And the 4th one. The face will now drop straight off easily. There we go. We'll pop the movement over there. While we've got the face off, we'll straighten each one of these so that the face will slide straight back onto the movement when we put it back together again. Put that aside over there. Now we'll remove that little spring washer, put it aside, and the wheel underneath it. Now we'll have a look at the movement. Could do with a clean, that's for sure. This movement is riveted, as you can see. I'll turn it over. Is riveted together, so we're not going to be able to take it to pieces and clean each individual wheel, so we will have to clean the whole lot in one piece. Then we'll check it, then we'll oil it. So first up, we'll clean the movement. To clean the movement, we'll put it in an ultrasonic bath for 5 minutes, then take it out and see what it looks like. Could do with a bit of a clean. There's some gunk in there for sure. Okay, we'll put the movement into the ultrasonic bath. Let it run for 5 minutes and see how that cleans it up. Okay, the ultrasonic is finished, so let's take out our movement. We'll head outside and clean it up. Well, here we are, ready to finish the cleanup. We'll fill this dish full of water. Then we'll put the ultrasonic basket with the movement in it over here and fill it with water. Put it up and swish it round. Then we'll remove the movement. Looks a hell of a lot cleaner. Put it in the water over there. Let it sit for a minute. Now we'll take the movement out of the water. Quick little shake. Place it into a tub of shellite. Move it round a little bit. The shellite will displace the water. Now remove the movement from the shellite. Place it on a clean rag to let it dry. Now for the final part, using a hairdryer on low, turn it on. And dry off the remaining shellite on the movement. Okay, back to the bench. Well, we're back at the bench again after cleaning the movement. Now, first thing we'll do, having looked at the movement, it's certainly a lot cleaner than it was before we put it through the ultrasonic. Now, first thing we do is we'll oil the movement. Clock oil. Now using an oiler, we'll oil every pivot on the clock movement. Just a small drop of oil on each and a bit extra round the winding arbors for the springs. Another one there. And a couple round the alarm winding arbor. Another one there for the alarm mechanism, and that has done all that side. We'll come back and oil the spring in a moment. Flip the movement over, lie it down again, and then we'll oil. That's the shaft that runs the animated part of the clock. Another one there. That pivot. That one, not very much, we'll give him a double up. That one. we'll mark we'll oil the cannon arbor. Another pinion there. That one. Two on this one. It's a larger. That's for the alarm. We'll put 2 drops on the top of this wheel here. See what we've got. I think we missed this one here, I think. Got him now. Okay, balance wheel. For this we've got to get inside to oil it. There. And that end of the balance staff. Now we'll check the end plate, and that is wobbling all over the place. That needs to be tightened down. Just a little bit at a time. Could be a little bit more yet. Tiny little bit too tight. Back it off a little bit. About halfway to where it was. Check the play again. And start it off. There we go. Now, a little bit of oil up the shaft here. Then we'll set that wheel back on and get it to mesh. Now we'll oil the springs. Springs are normally oiled with silicone grease, but because this movement is riveted down, we'll have to use some clock oil to lubricate the spring. A couple of drops either side. And now a couple of drops of oil on the alarm winding mechanism to free it up. Better. And also on the hand winding mechanism we'll put a drop. We'll put one inside also. using some Ultrasonic, we'll polish the cup bells. Ultrasonic is a very fine abrasive that we use when we're doing restorations on clocks, cleaning up paint and plates, wheels and various other items on clocks. We'll rub it off. You can see that's come up pretty well. That's what it looked like before. That's how it's polished up. Now we'll do the other cup bell. Wipe it down. And see what we've got. Yep, mark completely disappeared. Now over to the clock case. Here we go, down the base, I mean up the top where the alarm goes. We'll get into that, clean it up. Apply the polish in a circular motion where possible, but sometimes it's not possible to do. So we'll clean this bit off first, wipe it off. Then we'll run over the rest of the case. One. Now we'll do the other side. And bring that back again. Get rid of that mark that's accumulated over many years. Polish him off, and then a quick run round the rest of the side of the clock to bring it up the same as the piece we've just done. And we'll have a look and see how it looks. And a little bit down the base on the legs. Clean it up. It's come up well. All those marks are gone. While we're at it, we'll run over these alarm pillars, the little bit of 4/0 steel wool, remove the rust that's on there. And the other one. And over the legs on the base. Put a bit of a shine back on it. And the other one. There we go, shinier than before. Looking good. Right, now we'll put the face back together with the movement. Put this wheel on, mesh it again, put the spring on, turn it up and have a look. Make sure we've got all those little tabs in place. Then one at a time, turn them down. Second one. Third one. And under the winding spring. Tighten that one down. Then the fourth one. Okay. Just have a look at that face. I think we might give that a quick wipe over, I think. Using some methyl and a clean rag, we'll wipe the face in a circular motion. And then remove the methylated spirits. Wipe it down so it's perfectly dry. Right, now we'll put the movement back into the case. First put the alarm hammer up through the hole at the top, then push the movement up high as it'll go, line up the posts on the back. Then the movement will fall into place. Now we replace the animated part of the clock and line it up so that it sits evenly. Now we'll put on the hour hand. Make sure it faces up to 12 o'clock. Push it down slightly. Then the minute hand, time, place it on, pointing up to 12 o'clock. Push it down to fasten it. Now turn the hands of the clock to make sure that the hour hand doesn't get caught on the animated part of the clock down the bottom. It's alright, it's moving alright. So the hands are now in the correct position. taking some methylated spirits, denatured alcohol, squirt some on the clock glass and polish it up, removing any fingerprints that may be on it. Then place it on top of the clock. Then we'll take the bezel and give it a quick light rub round with some steel wool to remove any marks that are on it. I'll run round quickly inside the bezel to remove anything that's on there to make it easier to insert back into the clock. Now, place the bezel on the clock and starting at the top, slowly and very carefully push the bezel onto the clock, working your way right round the perimeter of the clock. There we are. Right, starting to look alright. Now, put the cup bells back on now that they've been polished. A quick polish to the handle. Put it back on, pop the cup bells. Might have to invest in a new pair of gloves, I think, pretty soon. Before we put the knobs on, we'll give them a quick clean. Shine them up again. First one. Around. The second one, clean it. Put it on. Tighten them both down. Looking good. Now, last thing to do is to put the keys back onto the back of the clock. Give them a quick clean up with some steel wool. Brighten them up a bit. Then, always a good idea to look at both the keys before you put them on. They're the same size. Some of the arbors on alarm clocks tend to be smaller than the main spring winding arbor. These are both the same size, so that is not a problem. And there we are. Looking nice and shiny. We'll wind that up in a second and we'll check the alarm. We'll wind the alarm spring, it's done. We'll pull the alarm out to turn it on and then wind the hands. Turn it off. The alarm works well and very noisily. Okay, let's test the alarm.